1 Chronicles chapter 5. Descendants of Reuben. Descendants of Reuben, firstborn of Israel. He was indeed the firstborn, but when he had relations with his father's concubine, his birthright was given to the sons of Joseph, son of Israel. Hence he is not listed in the family records according to the birthright. Although Judah proved more powerful than his brothers, and from him proceeded the ruler, the firstborn right belonged to Joseph. Sons of Reuben, firstborn of Israel, Hanok, Palu, Hezron, Kami. Sons of Joel, Shemaiah his son, Gog his son, Shimei his son, Micah his son, Raiah his son, Baal his son, Bera his son, whom Tiglath-Pileser king of Assyria carried off into exile. He was a prince of the Reubenites. His kinsmen by clans grouped according to their kingship: Jael the chief, Zechariah, Bela son of Azaz, son of Shema, son of Joel. The Reubenites lived in Ariel as far as Nebo in Baal-Meon. This extended to the east toward the river Euphrates, reaching the desert, because their flocks had multiplied in the land of Gilead. In the days of Saul they waged war against the Hagrites, who were defeated, and they occupied their homes east of Gilead. Descendants of Gad. The sons of Gad lived opposite them in the land of Bashan as far as Zelekah. Joel was the chief, Shepam the second, then Janai and Shaphat in Bashan. Their brothers by families were those of Michael, Meshulam, Sheba, Joreh, Jechan, Zia, Eber. These were the descendants of Abihail, whose ancestors were traced back as follows: Abihail, Huri, Jaroah, Gilead, Michael, Jeshishai, Jado, Buz. Ahi, son of Abdiel, son of Guni, was head of these clans. They settled in the territory of Gilead, in Bashan and its towns, and on all the pasture lands of Sharon to their borders. All were listed in the family records in the days of King Jotham of Judah and King Jeroboam of Israel. The Reubenites, Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh were 44,760 valiant men, well trained in the use of shields, swords, and bows. They waged war against the Hagrites, Jetur, Napish, and Nodab. They put their trust in God and called on him for help, and they were victorious over the Hagrites and all their allies. They took with them the livestock of the Hagrites, 50,000 camels, 250,000 sheep, and 2,000 donkeys. They also took 100,000 prisoners of war, and many of the enemies had been killed, for it was God's war, and they settled in what had been Hagrite territory until the exile. The half-tribe of Manasseh. The half-tribe of Manasseh settled in the land between Bashan and Baal-Hermon, Senir and Mount Hermon, and they were very numerous. These are the heads of their clans: Epher, Ishi, Eliel, Azriel, Jeremiah, Hodaviah, and Jadiel. These were famous warriors and leaders of their clans, but they were unfaithful to the God of their ancestors and worshipped the gods of the peoples whom God had driven out of the land. So the God of Israel brought against them the anger of Pul, king of Assyria, that is, Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, who deported the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. They were taken to Hala, Habor, Hara, and the river Gozan. They are still there to this day. The ancestral line of the high priest. Sons of Levi, Gershom, Kohath, and Merari. Sons of Kohath, Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. Sons of Amram, Aaron, Moses, and Miriam. Sons of Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. The descendants of Eleazar from one generation to the next are as follows: Phinehas, Abishua, Buki, Uzi, Zerahiah, Merioth, Amariah, Ahitub, Zadok, Ahimaaz, Azariah, Johanan, Azariah, the one who served as priest in the temple that Solomon built in Jerusalem, Amariah, Ahitub, Zadok, Shallum, Hilkiah, Azariah, Seraiah, Jehozadak. Jehozadak was deported when the Lord, through King Nebuchadnezzar, sent into exile the people of Judah and Jerusalem. 1 Chronicles chapter 6, Descendants of Levi. Levi had 3 sons, Gershom, Kohath, and Merari. These are the names of the sons of Gershom, Libni and Shimei. Sons of Kohath, Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. Sons of Merari, Mali and Mushi. These are the families of Levi according to their ancestors. Descendants of Gershon from one generation to the next: Libni, Jahath, Zimah, Joah, Edo, Zerah, Jetharai. Descendants of Kohath from one generation to the next: Aminadab, Korah, Asir, Elkanah, Ebiasaph, Asir, Tahath, Uriel, Uzziah, Shaul. Elkanah had 2 sons, Amasai and Ahimoth. Elkanah was the son of Ahimoth, Zophai his son, Nahath his son, Eliab his son, Jeroham his son, Elkanah his son, and Samuel his son. Samuel had 2 sons, Joel his firstborn, and Abijah the younger. Descendants of Merari from one generation to the next: Mali, Libni, Shimei, Uzzah, Shemaiah, Haggiah, and Asaiah. These are the men David named to lead the singing in the temple of the Lord when the ark had come to rest there. They were responsible for the singing before the tabernacle of the tent of meeting until Solomon built the temple of the Lord in Jerusalem. They did their duties in accordance with the rules. These are the men who accomplished their ministry together with their sons. Of the clan of Kohath, Heman, the musician, was the son of Joel. His ancestral line went back to Jacob as follows: Heman, Joel, Samuel, Elkanah, Jeroham, Eliel, Toah, Zub, Elkanah, Mahath, Amasai, Elkanah, Joel, Azariah, Zephaniah, Tahath, Asir, Ebiasaph, Korah, Izhar, Kohath, Levi, Jacob. His brother Asaph stood at his right hand. His ancestral line went back to Levi as follows: Asaph, Berechiah, Shemaiah, Michael, Basiah, Malchijah, Ethni, Zerah, Adiah, Ethan, Zimah, Shimei, Jahath, Gershom, Levi. These brothers, the sons of Merari, stood at the left side. Their ancestral line went back to Levi as follows: Ethan, Kishi, Abdi, Maluk, Hashabiah, Amasiah, Hilkiah, Amzi, Bani, Shemer, Mali, Mushi, Merari, Levi. Their brother Levites were in charge of all other services of the tabernacle of the temple of God. Aaron and his descendants burnt the offerings on the altar of burnt offering and on the altar of incense. They were responsible for all the worship in the most holy place and for the ritual of atonement for Israel's sins, according to the instructions of Moses, the servant of God. This is the line of Aaron's descendants: Eleazar, Phinehas, Abishua, Buki, Uzi, Zerahiah, Merioth, Amariah, Ahitub, Zadok, Ahimaaz. These are the places they lived in, according to the boundaries of their settlements. To the sons of Aaron of the Kohath clan, to whom the first lot fell, they gave Hebron in the land of Judah and the pasture lands nearby. The fields and villages of this town, however, had been given to Caleb, son of Jephunneh. The following towns were given to the descendants of Aaron: Hebron, a city of refuge; Jatir with its pasture lands; Libnah with its pasture lands; Estemoa with its pasture lands; Hilen with its pasture lands; Debir with its pasture lands; Ashan with its pasture lands; and Beth Shemesh with its pasture lands. In the territory of Benjamin they were given the following towns with their pasture lands: Geba, Alameth, and Anathoth. A total of 13 towns was given them for all their families to live in. To the rest of the clan of Kohath, family by family, 10 towns were given from the territory of the half-tribe of Manasseh. The clan of Gershom, family by family, were given 13 towns from the tribes of Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and from the tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. The clan of Merari, family by family, were given 12 towns from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. The people of Israel gave these towns with their pasture lands to the Levites. They received from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin the towns to which they gave names. The clans of Kohath obtained towns by lot from the tribe of Ephraim. They were given the following cities of refuge with their pasture lands: Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, Gezer, Jokmeam, Beth-horon, Aijalon, and Gath-rimmon. In the territory of the half-tribe of Manasseh, they were given the towns of Aner and Bileam with their pasture lands. The clan of Gershom, family by family, were given the following towns with their pasture lands. In the territory of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Golan in Bashan and Ashtaroth. In the territory of Issachar, Kedesh, Daberath, Ramoth, and Anim. In the territory of Asher, Mashal, Abdon, Hukok, and Rehob. In the territory of Naphtali, Kedesh in Galilee, Hammon, and Kiriatim. To the rest of the clan of Merari were given the following towns with their pasture lands. In the territory of Zebulun, Rimmon, and Tabor. In the territory of Reuben, beyond the Jordan River near Jericho, east of the Jordan, Besar in the desert, Jaza, Kedemoth, and Mephath. In the territory of Gad, Ramoth in Gilead, Mahanaim, Heshbon, and Jaza. Job chapter 8. Bildad's first speech. Bildad the Shuhite spoke next. How long will you say such things? Your words are long-winded blusterings. Does God pervert judgment? Does the Almighty distort justice? If your children did him wrong, he has made them pay for their sins. But if you will have recourse to God and plead with the Almighty, if you are faultless and righteous, even now he will care for you and restore you to your rightful place. Though your beginning was small, your future days will be very great. Inquire of the past generations and learn from your ancestors' experience. For we were born only yesterday, we know nothing, and our days on earth are but a shadow. They will correct and teach you with words that come from their understanding. Can papyrus thrive without mush? Can reeds flourish without water? Even if still growing and uncut, they wither more quickly than any plant. Such is the end of him who forgets God. The hope of the godless man perishes. His trust has a fragile foundation. A spider's web is what he relies on. He leans on his house, but it does not stand. He clings to it, but it does not hold. He is like a plant growing in the sunlight, spreading its shoots over the garden. Its roots entwined around the rocks, holding fast to each stone. But if uprooted from where it has grown, the place rejects it and says, I have never known you. And there it lies rotting by the road, while other plants grow in its place. Indeed, God does not reject the righteous, nor lend his hand to the evildoer. You will again fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with joyful shouts. Your enemies will be wrapped in dishonor, and the tent of the wicked will be no more. John chapter 21. The appearance of Jesus on the shore of Tiberias. After this, Jesus revealed himself to the disciples by the lake of Tiberias. This is how it happened. Simon Peter, Thomas, who was called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 other disciples were together. And Simon Peter said, I am going fishing. They replied, we will come with you. And they went out and got into the boat, but they caught nothing all night. When they had already broken, Jesus was standing on the shore, but the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus called out to them, have you caught anything, friends? They answered, nothing. Then he said to them, throw the net on the right side of the boat and you will find some. When they had lowered the net, they found they were not able to pull it in because of the great number of fish. Then the disciple Jesus loved said to Peter, it is the Lord. At these words, it is the Lord, Simon Peter put on his clothes, for he was stripped for work, and jumped into the water. The other disciples came in the boat, dragging the net full of fish. They were not far from land, about 100 meters. When they landed, they saw a charcoal fire and fish on it and some bread. Jesus said to them, bring some of the fish you have just caught. So Simon Peter climbed into the boat and pulled the net to shore. It was full of big fish, 153, but in spite of this, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, come and have breakfast. Not one of the disciples dared to ask him, who are you? For they knew it was the Lord. Jesus then came and took the bread and gave it to them, and he did the same with the fish. This was the 3rd time that Jesus revealed himself to his disciples after rising from the dead. Loving and feeding. After they had finished breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than this? He answered, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. And Jesus said to him, feed my lambs. A 2nd time Jesus said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? And Peter answered, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Jesus said to him, tend my sheep. And a 3rd time he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was saddened because Jesus asked him a 3rd time, do you love me? And he said, Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you. Jesus then said, feed my sheep. Truly I say to you, when you were young, you used to fasten your own belt and walk the way you liked. But when you grow old, you will stretch out your hands, and another will fasten a belt around you and lead you where you do not wish to go. Jesus said this to indicate the kind of death by which Peter was to glorify God, and he added, follow me. The testimony of the beloved disciple. Peter looked back and saw that the disciple Jesus loved was following as well. The one who had reclined close to Jesus at the supper and had asked him, Lord, who is to betray you? On seeing him, Peter asked Jesus, Lord, what about him? Jesus answered, if I want him to remain until I come, does that concern you? Follow me. Because of this, the rumor spread among the brothers that this disciple would not die. Yet Jesus had not said to Peter, he will not die. He only said, if I want him to remain until I come. It is this disciple who testifies about the things he has recorded here, and we know that his testimony is true. There are many other things that Jesus did. If all were written down, I think the world itself would not hold the books that would have to be written.